Welcome back to more Summoner's War Monster Strategies. Today we're going to be looking at the Light Imp known as Taru. Taru is very well known for being perhaps the one and only imp in the game, and by imp in the game I mean the 5 imps, not imp champions. The one and only imp in the game that actually has use nowadays. It used to be Taru and Finn, but again the Giants keep changing of that, you know, like the big change in there. It basically made Finn useless. Nowadays, it's only Taru that has some, I don't even want to say amazing use, because it's not. He has good use in a certain situation, basically just with extremely high and powerful damage with his first skill. But anyway, let's talk about his stats as a 6-star level 40. His stats are as follows: 7,905 HP, 604 attack, 516 defense, and 114 speed. As you can see, his stats seem to be a bit more well balanced, which means that his HP is not as terrible as Ralph and Finn. They're higher, but to make up for it, his attack is lower than them. His defense is actually pretty up there. I believe he has the second highest defense out of all the imps, only behind Finn. So as you can see, his stats are pretty well balanced. Just by these stats alone, he's not purely offensive, but his skills say otherwise, and let's talk about that. So, his first skill. Well, this one is, you know, very well known, of course. Holy Spear attacks the enemy with a spear and increases the attack speed for 2 turns if you get a critical hit. The second one says Light Ball throws a light ball and stuns the enemy for 1 turn. And the third one launches an attack that penetrates the enemy's guard. This attack receives a 50% critical rate bonus. Let me just make a note here. It's a bit confusing as to how it says it right here, you know, that it says penetrates the enemy's guard. That does in fact mean that it ignores the enemy's defense, just like Lucian's amputation magic, you know, the high elemental's tectonic shift, and so on. It just doesn't say here in the description, but it actually does. So that third skill is, it can be very massively powerful. It really can. And let's talk about the rune setups as to how to use this guy effectively. Now, there are 2 ways to go. And I have actually had people tell me both ways, although one is a hell of a lot more popular. On the screen, I will only go ahead and list the one that's a lot more commonly used than the other one, and that is the going all pure offensive. There is a support type build, and I will go ahead and talk about that in a bit, but let's talk about the offensive build. The offensive build is basically Rage Blade, by using attack percentage in slot 2, critical damage percentage, and attack percentage. So this combination of runes, of, you know, sets and runes in slots 2, 4, and 6 will make him extremely powerful. His third skill has a 50% increased chance of being a critical hit, and it ignores the enemy's defense, always. What does that mean? You want to take advantage of it, because you want to go all critical damage. You want to improve that critical damage as much as you can, and then get some attack percentage on slots 2 and 6 to do the most damage you possibly can. And let me tell you, it's impressive. It is an impressive attack. The multiplier is good for being a, you know, an ignoring defense attack, and it ignores it. I mean, I've seen some videos on this guy, and yeah, it's there. I mean, you know, it's very respectable. It definitely is. So the other type of, you know, rune combinations that I've seen is to make him a support unit, more like by putting speed in slot 2, accuracy in slot 6. And slot 4, I guess you can either just go to make him, I guess, somewhat tanky, or you could just go and attack in there if you want, or maybe even critical rate, probably just to, you know, make sure that you get that speed bonus and from the first skill by getting a critical hit. But that combination to me seems like it's used more in the other imps by using, you know, either accuracy or possibly even speed, even though I haven't put speed on any imp because they're more attack oriented. Also, speed is always a nice alternative for any monster in slot 2, or almost any monster. So you could do that. I'm not putting it on there just because, I mean, again, from what I've seen online, from what people have been telling me, because sometimes I do get comments, like beforehand, or messages, private messages as to what I should be doing for a certain monster, and that's going to be in the future, of a future, like, monster strategy video. Yeah, you know, most of the comments told me this guy is for sure attack, critical damage, attack, Rage Blade. Which, yeah, I mean, I looked online too, and yeah, it's pretty much true, but again, you could use him as a support unit if you want to. Anyway, as far as substats go, well, it depends. If you use them, you know, like pure offense, go with attack, critical rate, and critical damage for substats. If you're going for support, go for speed, critical rate, and accuracy. So, I mean, it just depends again. Anyway, my overall review of this guy is that, well, he is the only imp that is viable nowadays. just because of that third skill. I mean, the second one can also stun, 100% initial chance, which means that it goes to, accuracy versus resistance. Third skill, 50% critical rate bonus. That is really good in itself, and on top of that, it ignores defense. So, I mean, you could actually build this guy pretty good. He could be pretty good. Anyway, if you have any rune recommendations, go ahead and leave a comment. I am sure that people would appreciate that if they would read your recommendations instead of only mine. Thank you for watching, goodbye everybody, and until next time.